Well, good evening, America. Welcome to It's Happening Out, the world's most popular live gay television show. It's 8 p.m. Wednesday, May 13th, 2020. I'm your host and moderator, Al Ferguson. And did I mention to you we are live? Yeah, we're live. First, we want to welcome our host, fresh off of his birthday celebration, Power Infiniti. We have him there, but I don't see him right now, so we may have technical issues, and if we do, we'll come back to him. Power, can you hear me? All right, well, we're going to come back to Power. He's in Central Florida, up at Lakeland. And good evening to our guest host tonight, Misty Eyez, who is also covering for Aaron Darr on Q News tonight during the pandemic. How does it feel to be a news anchor?
You know what? I love it. I never thought I'd want to do it. When I was first approached, I was like, no. Honestly, that's real life. I was like, no. But
no.
Well, that was because you were going to be working with Al. I understand.
That's not true. I've been fun, haven't I?
Yeah, I've actually really enjoyed it. And tonight I'm wearing my Aaron Darr Where's Waldo glasses in tribute. I'm definitely enjoying Q News tonight. Thank you for having me.
Good. And also good evening, our host, NapoleonPlays. Napoleon, you've had an interesting week. How's it been?
It's been stressful. We're going to report on it later, but we all got our antibody tests, and I wish I could say that I'm the superhero I see myself as, but this does not support that theory.
Oh my God, I love that phrase. You're not a superhero, but who is a superhero?
It's okay. I could be Lois Lane. I'm
Wait,
not going to answer that the way that you want.
I'm not letting you off the hook. Under your standard, you've just established who is a superhero.
I said what it takes to be one, and you might have a superpower, but you're definitely no hero.
Okay, all right.
Wow.
We'll
Hey, we love each other.
All right.
I'm just bitter right now, a little bitter Betty.
And America, we're so excited to do this. 60-some days. And for the first time live in person, straight out of quarantine, our host, Chef Josie. Josie, do you feel like you've just escaped from prison?
Not exactly. You know, I feel like I just had to come home from a good vacation, quite frankly, because now this is it. I have no more excuses. I have to get right back into the action of it all.
I am so disappointed because I was really hoping to hear a really good prison story.
No, that's in your dream.
Orange is the new black.
Only, right, okay, all right. Well, welcome again, America. We are going to have fun tonight. This is going to be a really entertaining show. Let's begin tonight right at the top with Happening Now, breaking news. We report coronavirus hits Happening Out television network again. After our opening, we will begin tonight with COVID-19 and discuss what's next for the LGBT community. We've got incredible, important medical information we're going to tell you right after the opening package. As you know, we've had dramatic events here as host Ron Brunensky dies of COVID-19. Chef Josie tests positive, and there is even more news that put off an announcement that Chef Josie wanted to make weeks ago. And tonight, after 50 days in quarantine, a heck of a long time to sit and wait, we finally give you the opportunity. So welcome back, Josie. And we're dying for you to tell us what you wanted to announce all through that time.
Well, now that I've been cleared by Dr. Grossman and I can see that we are about to reopen our city, I think it's important for me to let our viewers know, let my city know that I have decided, and it is official, I am running for mayor of Wilton Manor.
Yay!
That's really cool.
Woo! You know, what I understand about this moment, it is going to require some fresh perspectives. It's going to require out-of-the-box thinking. It's going to require a new sort of leadership. And I am excited to offer my capacity, my ability, and my energy and commitment to the city, which has given me so much.
Josie, we're very excited to hear the news. I know, of course, I heard all of the rumors and conversation about you running for city council or city commission. And of course, we lost our mayor, which really was tragic to all of us, close to all of us here at It's Happening Out. And I likely assume that kind of made some choice changes for you in terms of inspiring you.
Yes, you know, you hit it right on the head. When I realized that we lost our mayor, there's something that I believe in. You know, anytime we enter into a space, it's always important that we leave it better than we found it. And I really truly believe that Justin left this city better than the way he found it. And that is my intention and my commitment for Wilton Manors as well.
You know, Josie, one of the things I love about the fact that you're running, obviously you're a reality star and that gives you a leg up, as we see with our president, but you don't have to have an entire background.
Did you just compare Chef Josie to Donald Trump?
She's like the good version of him, like the Glinda the Good Witch about it. But what it shows is that you don't have to have an entire career in politics to know that you can make a change. You know, probably every single person in Wilton Manors and in the associated districts. You are a business owner in Wilton Manors. You've lived here for such a long time with your mother, with your wife. You know so much about it that you don't have the political background that others do, but you have all of the rest of what's needed and actually the information and the experience. I'm so excited to see you, honestly, I think, win, but just go for this. Congratulations.
I
Thank
think
you.
more women should run for office, and I think more LGBTQ people. And girl, you got 2 of those. You have my vote.
You know, I'm curious to that observation because I honestly don't know. Has there ever been a female mayor of the city?
Everyone turns.
Oh, we're going to have to find that out because I do not know. Well, congratulations to you. We wish you all the luck in the world. I love your logo. And America, you're hearing it here first. Reality star from Bravo's Top Chef and host at Hits Happening Out is running for mayor of the gayest city on planet Earth. Congratulations. Woo! So good evening again, America. You are watching the most popular live gay television show in the world. So many of your stories we're going to tell and have fun with. Next on It's Happening Out.
This week on It's Happening Out.
This antibody test is more effective than the PCR test, which is like you mentioned the
They
other
have
day.
different indications.
Ahmaud Arbery was shot while running through a neighborhood in February, but it took more than 2 months to arrest the suspects.
Our new game, Saved by the Bell.
These two guys have come into these areas.
It's all happening out tonight. Join us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Special guest host, Misty Eyez. With your host, lifestyle expert NapoleonPlays. Reality TV star, Chef Josie. Trans activist, Erin Phoenix. DJ Diva Power Infiniti. And our moderator, Ferguson. It all starts right now, live on It's Happening Out.
Well, good evening again, America. We're live, and anything can happen. And first, the proof of that is, where's power? It's like, well, where's Waldo? Where's power? We're having a technical issue of the connection to his location in Polk County in Lakeland, Florida. So we're sorry about that. But one more time, we said this last week, we sent him this video message. We wish him happy birthday. He's just had his
Happy birthday, Power.
I think it was Napoleon who made the joke that he was 106 years old. I think it was Napoleon last week that made that joke, right? It wasn't me. It wasn't me. But we wish you happy birthday, Power, and we'll get the hopefully the technology issues all set up. Remember, as I said, anything can happen. You are watching the world's most popular live gay television show, and we continue now with Coronavirus Hits Happening Out Television Network. This is a medical segment. We're getting ready to show you antibody testing. Very important. First, I should tell you we have followed all of the safety protocols since our last show with Ron Bernensky on March 25th. Can you believe it's been that long? He entered Miami Palmetto Hospital that weekend and ultimately died on April 27th. That last appearance on It's Happening Out could likely be our contact source trace for all of us. All of us in South Florida with the show was tested and everyone came back negative for coronavirus except Chef Josie. She was in quarantine for nearly 40 days. To return to It's Happening Out live, like she's doing tonight, she had another COVID-19 test, and thank you for doing that, and again tested positive for the virus. Unlikely, that's maybe even impossible. On Friday, Josie, Napoleon, and I consulted with our medical expert for Q News Tonight, Dr. Howard Grossman. He's here every Thursday night at 7 p.m. with incredible question and answer for the LGBT community. He performed a COVID antibody test on all of us, but especially the reason we went along with Josie was to confirm Chef Josie's strange status of the second positive test. So we have vital information on what's next for the LGBTQ community and coronavirus. We've prepared this. Watch.
Hi, welcome. Nice to see you. Josie, actually, if you want to take your mask off, I think you can.
Okay, perfect.
I mean, when it's tight around the nose, it prevents stuff from coming out. So, when we left off the other day, we were talking about the fact that after 40 days you had been positive on the PCR test. After 40 days, you were still positive. I think we were beginning to see already that was a test complication, that really the health department told you were still infectious and that you needed to stay away from people, but in fact, when the test is positive after 40 days, what you're most likely detecting is viral debris. Sometime after 21 days, and usually by 28 or maybe a little bit longer, people develop antibodies. But that PCR test can stay positive. You have had now several PCR tests, the nasal swab up the nose test, that were positive, and they were 40 days apart,
Right.
Obviously. And you've done the correct thing, but you really only needed to quarantine for 14 days. But testing you for antibodies will show us that you have now recovered, and it's looking like those antibodies may actually confer immunity.
Just let me know, Dr. Grossman, do you think that once I receive the results back from this test and it shows that I am positive with antibodies, what exactly does that mean?
Well, truthfully, I think it means you're set to go. I mean, you should be opening the restaurant the next day, and with all the guidelines for restaurants these days.
So, Doc, just to be clear, you're saying that if I have antibodies, that I'm probably one of the safest people on the planet to be around.
I think that's absolutely true.
All right, Doc. Well, I'm excited to, learn my new results from this antibody test, and can't wait till I get that positive antibody test. Correct?
I'm hoping that's the way.
All right.
I really think that Q News has done a really incredible job, because really people want practical information. And I think with that, Q News is starting that discussion. And maybe we're not going to get everything right, because things change day to day. Yeah. But at least we're talking about practical solutions, things people can do. So I think that we can actually start broader testing. I would recommend to your viewers who are going to be seeing this, who want to get testing, that they call their provider.
In terms of the testing, you believe that this antibody test is more effective than the PCR test, which is like you mentioned the other day?
No, they have different indications.
Okay.
Okay, the PCR test is for acute infection. But once you're past that acute infection, that test can stay positive and just be viral debris. Okay. Now the antibody is going to tell us that your body developed an immune response. So that's really what's telling us you've had an immune response to the virus. It's looking like those antibodies are protective. We hope that they last for a long time. Those are still questions to be answered.
I feel hopeful.
What you just watched is so incredibly important to you in your go forward. The antibody test is critical. The results of this Friday test. Napoleon was negative. He has never had COVID-19, and he can be infected because he is not carrying any antibodies. I was positive. I was shocked to learn I had COVID-19, but was asymptomatic and never knew it. I now have antibodies and cannot spread COVID-19. And Josie was revealed live on Monday's Q News Tonight that she tested positive for coronavirus for a second time at 40 days and then tested positive for antibodies because of remains that were in her sinus cavity, which is very common in testing positive for COVID-19, and she cannot spread coronavirus. 4 It's Happening Out host, 4 completely different paths to conclusions. Any quick thoughts about what we've learned in the last 50 days on coronavirus?
Or you have some Josie.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm exhausted actually by
Nothing
this
but
marathon, and it just really lands home for me, understanding that we're reopening our cities, understanding that we in this small microcosm have had 4 separate types of results. We don't know enough about this virus, and we need to really move forward with the information we have and do this safely in a way that is going to keep our community safe and also balance our ability to keep our economy alive.
Yeah. So you'll be the safe one to be around when you can reopen it.
Other thoughts anybody has?
How do you feel that you've tested positive, that you had COVID-19 and didn't know?
You know, it's a two-edged sword. That's why I was making the joke with Napoleon about being a superhero. It gives me tremendous confidence, but not in a positive way.
Yeah.
As we indicated in the video, I will continue to follow every protocol. I will wash my hands. I will use antiseptic. I will use mask. All of those things I likely don't have to do because I am not going to affect somebody. However, I am sympathetic to people around me that will be concerned, so therefore I'm going to do it. And everyone should do that in continuing to follow the protocols. The other thing that is really shocking to me is asymptomatic. My situation is completely different than Josie's. Josie was really clear in day 1, positive, quarantine. I was not positive, no quarantine, I was asymptomatic, which means I sit and have gone through at 3 o'clock in the morning, could I have infected someone? Could I have spread it unknowingly, even following the protocols because there were no symptoms? It brings on some guilt, unreasonable, but it brings on guilt. And the complexity of this story, I don't think you could bring a screenwriter in and write the complexity of this story. And one last thought. When we posted and we did this live test result for Josie on Monday, social media has exploded. And social media is terrible.
Oh, yes.
Terrible.
Trust me.
Because every other person is contradicting all of the science, all of the things, whether they're watching Fox or some or ultra liberal or whatever it is. There is so much diverse opinion, it's almost impossible to diagnose.
But that makes sense. Like we were saying, there's 4 of us that got tested, and Ron has passed. Josie had it and is fine. You apparently had it but didn't know you had it and are fine. And then what I'm going through, because I feel like I'm doing my own grieving process. I'm so angry because I found out about your results before I found out about mine. And I feel like I was gypped from being able to experience more things right now. I want to be able to go hug people, to spread joy, to show my mom that she doesn't have to be alone in isolation and she can have tactile touch. Like, it's very frustrating to be around so many people that were positive and that have the antibody now, and then to still feel like, okay, well, sorry, I've got to put on my hazmat suit to go out or be around you or do anything. And it's frustrating. It's an entirely new grieving process.
You know, an outstanding observation, and I have to fold power into this conversation. I thought that perhaps Power's decision of going, at this point, I need to self-quarantine in Lakeland, which means I'm not going to travel down to South Florida. We're having, unfortunately, technical issues tonight because I would love to hear his observations on tonight of what we're reporting. But in hindsight, wow, did he make a good decision? He made a good decision, not only for himself, but for everyone around him, his husband, everyone here, that my asymptomatic issue is really scary. If 25% are asymptomatic, unless you have frequent testing or you have the antibody test after a negative, which is what happened to me, we can't pin this down. We can't.
You know, they say that one person can't change the world. And then world traveler Al Ferguson goes to Wuhan, China, and eats a raw bat. And It's Happening Out falls apart.
Speaking of It's Happening Out, we want to remind everybody at home, regardless of what you're going through with all of this, just like we are here on set or at home or everywhere else, to like our channel and share it and start a watch party. That's on YouTube and Facebook. But for Facebook, we've got a video to help you. Watch this.
When viewing our live show in your app, please click share. After clicking share, your screen should change and you can then click watch party. On the next screen, you can write text to your viewing audience and then click start watch party. You've done it. Enjoy your party.
Me, our guest and host, if we have guests and hosts ever in the future, we stay at the Best Western at I-95 here in Fort Lauderdale in Wilton Manors. Great hotel. The travel industry is going to need you. South Florida is going to need you. And when it is safe, come on down because we are going to party like it's 1999 when this is all over. So that's where you want to stay at the Best Western.
Absolutely. Please, we need you. Come visit us. And we are broadcasting right here from our permanent set in the middle of the World AIDS Museum and Education Center on the heart of Wilton Manors on Wilton Drive in Fort Lauderdale. The gayest place on planet Earth.
Here, we're broadcasting from a living museum, the World AIDS Museum, and this set was designed by Concepto Modern Living here in Fort Lauderdale, and we thank them for their participation.
We are proud to share with you that our LGBTQ television network supports the unique live broadcast of Sunshine Cathedral's Sunday Church service. It's the world's most popular LGBTQ queer religious broadcast, and we are proud of our diverse 501c3 and charitable support.
Everyone here at Happening Out Television Network wondered when pandemic began if the LGBT community would continue to support gay media during the coronavirus crisis. Our April 2020 results for Happening Out were amazing.
More than 514,000 watched our LGBTQ shows on YouTube TV, and more than 1,719,000 watched our LGBTQ shows in Facebook TV. Both platforms report that these numbers are dramatically higher than any other live LGBTQ platform in the world.
This, combined with one of the most visits of any LGBTQ website in the world, currently ranked number 10,574 out of 900 million. And that is 100 times more traffic than Florida's number 2 LGBTQ website. Happening Out Television Network is the number 1 LGBTQ media platform on the planet, touching more of our LGBT community than anyone else. Thank you so much for your growing support.
Well, you're watching It's Happening Out, which means we're going to have some fun. So let's start that by our meme of the week. Even in pandemic, even in quarantine, Josie, you're back for the first time in seems like 300 years or something. We do, right? We're doing the meme of the week. And now none of us as hosts have seen it. Our meme of the week is called Baby Trump. Let's take a shot at looking at Baby Trump.
Mr. President, you said the virus was just like the flu. You did. You also said the virus could go away by April. No, sir. You said it would disappear like a miracle. Yes. You said only 15 people have it and it would go down close to 0. You did. You said chloroquine would treat it. No, you said we should try injecting disinfectant. You said anyone who needs a test can get one. You praised China for being transparent. You got rid of the pandemic response team. You ignored every warning throughout January and February.
See, America, at It's Happening Out, we spare no expense. We just went live to the White House Coronavirus Commission briefing in the Rose Garden at the White House. Any thoughts of our video meme of the week?
Pretty accurate. Pretty.
I feel badly for the kid who's gonna like grow up and be like, "You made me into that when I was a kid." What the hell, Mom? You said you loved me.
I think it's adorable and accurate.
Yeah. I just want to know when our miracle is coming. Is our miracle ever going to get here? Because I was promised a miracle.
Ask Josie.
2 months.
She's Asian.
Whoops. All right.
You guys missed me.
Yes, we did. Exactly. All right, let's move on to our game, I'd Swallow That. America, you know how that works. It's a shot game. In this time of pandemic, don't imbibe too much, but do just enough, whatever that balance is. I'm going to ask some questions. If our hosts agree, they take the shot. If they don't touch the shot. And we'll explore some interesting things about them. And I've been desperately working on interesting things about Napoleon for a year and a half, and I give it another attempt tonight. All right, so let's play our game. Question number 1. My significant other is sexy as fuck. I'd swallow that.
You have a significant other?
I have several significant others. They're all very significant. And actually, without the ability to touch someone in Corona, I have a doctor, a lawyer, a fireman, and a policeman. I'm like going for the entire YMCA cast, or to be able to have dates with after this. I am excited. It's going to be a fun role-playing scene when this is over.
Napoleon gives me permission to take the shot because I can broadly define significant other in any other way I want to.
It's significant to me. So
I opened Wikipedia and read significant other, and now I can
weeping
take
willow in the backyard or firm oak tree.
Hey, if it's firm and it tastes good, then that's
America.
on the tree.
Misty's joke is that Napoleon said recently on It's Happening Out that he was so horny that he started to look at trees as sexy and that he could have sex with them.
Al, I don't judge your sexuality. You don't need to judge mine, okay?
So you took your shot.
Yeah, my husband's very sexy.
Yeah, and Josie, did you take your shot?
Hello. Of course I did.
What have you been doing for the last 50 days?
Well, not enough of that, that's for sure, just because, you know, the COVID thing kind of puts a damper in that desire.
And interesting, we should slip that in. When we
Funny.
Stick it in, Al. Stick it in.
Wait.
Fantasies, huh?
When we had the testing, Josie tested positive for COVID. Her wife, Marcy, tested negative. Her mother, who lives with her, tested negative. And in strangeness, they don't live in Mar-a-Lago, Palm Beach.
Exactly.
She has a whole West Wing.
For 40 days later, Marcy, when you tested positive again, Marcy tested negative, and your mom tested negative.
Yep.
The story continues to get stranger.
Miraculous.
They haven't had the antibody tests done yet.
No,
right?
but they will be getting that this coming week.
Yeah,
That's
great.
beautiful.
All
See what
right,
happens.
let's move on. Question number 2. We're talking about production at It's Happening Out and the Happening Out television network. Question 2. I hate when production gives me homework for the show. Nobody can take this shot better than me. Did you just spit your vodka all over the table?
Not commenting.
Our producer on set has some commentary to this, apparently. Couldn't hear what it was, as it always
Was that the question for me? That's the key.
Let's start with you since you're spitting, Betty, tonight.
I was spitting at you. Usually, I don't spit. So, yes, I'm working. I'm the director of women's services. I'm the director of transgender services. I'm the director of education and training at SunServe.
You're going to school.
I'm back in school.
You have a thriving. You have a thriving.
Sexy partner at home, my husband. Yeah, I have a lot on my plate. I'm just the girl that can't say no. And
that's what got you into this problem.
literally. And I tried. I literally did try. Ask Al, he was there. Yeah, there's a lot on my plate. And literally, the clock strikes 5 o'clock, and I'm like, okay, I have to be there at 6. Let me quickly read all the things I got to know, and sometimes I don't get all of it done.
Yeah. And anybody else?
That was the homework comment, yeah. Oh, no, I can always pull the dog ate my homework and just chow down on it myself. So
We
we're good to
know.
go. Pointing at. I get it done.
And
Shut up.
Josie, now you're going to be running for mayor of
Yeah.
our glorious gay LGBT city.
She
All
loves
right.
homework. She's Asian.
Yeah.
We're going to milk the Asian joke
Yeah, all
this
day.
week.
Well,
I don't
and-
know. Just ask China. Or how do you do it?
China, as China, what it's
Ask
doing.
China, right.
Well, and
Biggest-
also, the restaurant's reopening, so now,
Oh,
I,
great. When are you
I
gonna be
under.
doing that?
Well, it looks like we're gearing up for next week. So when-
Oyster bar.
Wait. I can't let that pass. Happening now, breaking news. A fantastic restaurant here in
just in.
South Florida called Bubbles and Pearls. It's only about a 10-minute walk down Wilton Drive from here. It's one of my favorite places in South Florida. When I came here, Josie's restaurant.
And
called
Al will be
Bubbles and
taking us
Pearls.
all there next week.
I would eat there at least once or twice a week. Wouldn't I?
Yeah, it's delicious.
well, I'm opening.
Especially
it as
when
a-
other people were chefs in the kitchen. It was great.
Yeah. Okay, Al. I'll remember that.
That's the first time I met Josie was when I went there pre-opening night. Marcy invited me, and I waved
Yep.
at Josie in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I was like, "Who's that beautiful lady in my
Nice
dining room?"
interception.
All right. Well, congratulations
Thank
on
you.
Bubbles and Pearls. I can't. You
You'll
should
hear
have a
more.
big,
You
Oyster
should.
bar realness.
Oh,
Yeah,
God. You're making me
exactly.
hungry again.
Oysters on the half shell.
Speaking
my
of
goodness.
things to swallow.
All right. Exactly. Do I have a terrible joke? Push it back in. Question number 3. I'd swallow that. There is a new movie or show coming out I am so excited to see.
I'm trying to remember what's
I
coming.
know, it feels like the world stopped for a while.
But I'm going to say it.
What are you excited to see, Misty?
I go to the movies every Tuesday night. I think it's very important to when you have as much on your plate as I
AMC
do.
Movie Pass.
Yes, you have
Well,
to get a
in
movie
the-
pass.
in the
Go.
4 times.
3 times
I
a week.
escape my reality, and I go every Tuesday night because
Well,
I
we got to
bring a
become
group.
movie buddies.
Yeah, I get a group every Tuesday.
We all like the movie.
It's mostly
this group
trans
here.
people, but I get the people out of their house. A lot of trans
Wait,
people hibernate.
Oh,
You're
why do you-
absolutely welcome to come.
Wait, why are you assuming I'm not trans?
Whoa,
Yeah.
my entire story.
I liked your comment,
But yes,
Josie.
I go to the movies every week. I love the movies. I am super looking forward to Wonder Woman. That's coming out. And there's another one that I was looking forward to, and I can't remember what's going to come out. I might remember before it's over.
Shaken, not stirred.
Oh, James Bond. Yeah.
The new Bond's coming.
Oh my God! Wait, yeah, Black Widow is coming out. Everyone's excited for that. Don't you look at me like that. Fine. The only person that could ever turn you on is the one that's there with 007. Isn't it Daniel Craig or someone else new now?
Daniel. Someone
Daniel
new. He's been Bond
Al's
for.
about to have a
and
heart
he's also
attack.
said he's about to stop doing it because he's been doing it for a real long time.
Daniel Craig is probably what I'm guessing 50. Somebody help me. 50.
Yeah.
Mid
56
50s.
sounds about.
The man is hot.
Fine.
Oh,
and
get out.
rumor has it he's packing it quite well.
Yeah.
Silver
Yeah, well, that's not so
Daddy.
important to me.
Yeah, I don't care either.
Yeah. No.
I definitely don't care, in case anyone was wondering.
Is that because you're Asian? All right, let's move on. Question
Next.
number 4. I'd swallow that. I have been inspired by someone at It's Happening Out. Of course I'm taking that shot.
In life.
I've been inspired by someone at It's Happening Out. We've all taken that shot. Who wants to start?
Napoleon should, because he called me out last.
I called you out last time. Well, I was gonna say I've been inspired by Misty Eyez to keep my plate full, to remember that all of the things that I want to achieve can actually be done. That if you just devote your time and resources successfully, whether that be, the man at home or, the day job where you're helping people or coming in on set, you can do it all. But now I realize the cost is a soul because you gotta be a cunt to do it. So thank you.
Lies!
No, we love you.
I will tell you, Google Calendar helps a lot when you're juggling.
Yeah. Inspirations?
What about you, Al?
Well, I'm going to finish.
Well, I've been inspired by the production team here at It's Happening Out because during this crisis, they've had to really learn to adapt, and they continue to overcome all kinds of new challenges. I can't single out not one single one of them. As a team, it's a unit, and without them, there's no us. So,
Retweet that.
so they really inspire me.
Any other
stepped up.
inspirations from you, Misty?
Yeah, actually, I've been inspired by almost everyone on this show. Al, very inspired by your love of travel. I love traveling. I love to escape. I believe in working hard, as we just talked about, but I also believe in playing hard. And Al introduced me into cruising.
What kind of cruising?
It involved a park over on the south side of the city.
Not that kind of cruising. In 2012, I went my first ever cruise, and it was with Al, and I've gone every year since on a cruise.
And it's gotten better and better
except for
without
this
it.
year, yes. Napoleon has inspired me to be open-minded and finding things attractive that you might not normally be attracted to. And Josie has inspired me because I also think it's very important to take your life seriously and run for office. You must. I as a small child being raised in the church, we have to realize that people are watching us, and what they see us do is important. Lead by example and make a difference. Josie, I'm very proud of you.
Well, I have to say broadly, I have an anniversary coming up. In 2 weeks, I will have been a participant in this concept for 2 years. In Memorial Weekend, it will be a 1.5-year anniversary that I moved to South Florida for this project. Completely new for me. I had never had any exposure to this project at all, or this type of gay LGBT media. I have been inspired by the host because look at the diversity of people that participate in this show. I have been inspired by production. Look at the quality of this production compared to anything that you see in LGBT. I dropped the mic. The quality of the production of this versus anything that you see in live performance in LGBT.
Well said.
And the end results, everyone said this was not going to work. Everyone said it's not going to happen. And in the 1.5 years that Happening Out Television has been promoting, starting with It's Happening Out in a Talk Show, we've had as many as 800,000 viewers, regularly 400,000 to 500,000 a week. Facebook reported we've had highs of over 2 million viewers in a month in April alone. In coronavirus, we had 1.7 million. In YouTube, which is unconquerable for LGBT in views without taking your clothes off or doing something ridiculous, Q News Tonight, news stories, is having a month of April in a relatively new product where 500,000 people have watched. Most importantly of all, Happening Out has a website that in 2 years has moved to number 10,000. By the way, look at out.com or The Advocate or the HRC or GLAAD. They all are ranked below It's Happening Out.
So well said.
Am I inspired? Oh my goodness. To everyone that said, no, it can't happen, I'm inspired tonight by It's Happening Out and everyone involved in it. Let's move out of our game of I'd Swallow That and move on to celebrity hot topics. One of the first things that we want to talk about is what's going on at Netflix. Netflix has become the logo television of the 2020s, the gayest television network on the planet. And they've been attacked for it. All of the gay programming that is going on at Netflix. And they came out swinging by saying every gay person is necessary and attacked many of the Twitter trolls that were just really, really terrible. We're going to show you some of the tweets and comments. But what do y'all think about what is going on in terms of Netflix and their support of the LGBT community? They don't claim to be gay, but my goodness, are they supporting our community almost in an unparalleled way?
Yeah, and
What do y'all think?
now is the time that they have to be. Of course, they aren't claiming to be gay because they aren't gay specifically, but they are able to find a lot of niche audiences, and a lot of gay audiences are very loyal when you treat them with respect and well done. Because Netflix has done a great job at showing gay characters or gay stories that aren't the same tropes that we're constantly used to seeing, but are actually fully fleshed out individuals that might happen to also be part of the LGBTQ spectrum. And now is the time that we need that, because right now LGBT rights across the world, but also in the USA, are starting to be revoked. Yes, we can get married here for now, but trans rights are still with a long way to go. And that's just in the USA. There's so many more countries that Netflix reaches. Now is the time to make that stand. I commend them for what they're doing, and I allow them to have their spokesperson come on our show at some point. Consider this your invite.
As a company in this country, it's so important to set an example to other corporations who can take conscious social stands and right now stand with a part of our society. We are here, we are queer, and we're not going anywhere. So that being said, we are a part of this society. We pay our taxes. We contribute in more ways than one. And Netflix, I applaud you for standing with our community.
I think this story is absolutely touching and beautiful. Everyone in America needs to be able to look at a screen and see themselves reflected. And when a major TV channel or show hires an overweight person, yeah, somebody might get offended. When they hire a dark black person, yeah, somebody might get offended. When they hire a gay person, yeah, somebody might get affected. But what impresses me that when somebody went to attack Netflix, they came back and said, hey, wait a minute. And I think the original tweet was, now if you tune on Netflix, every show has a token gay person and the useless, unnecessary gay person. I think that was the actual quote. Every Netflix show has an unnecessary. And their reply was, every gay person is necessary. I think that's beautiful. Now, if they follow that with people of color, follow that with trans people, follow that with obese people, and we start to see a great diversity instead of the typical attractive people, I think that's awesome.
Well, all of that's fine, but let's not cross the line on Asian people. That's
She's my sister.
We don't count. We don't count.
She can hear you, Al.
Oh, wait. She's not at home. Damn it.
Yeah, her senses of smell and hearing have returned.
I'm only 6 feet away. Okay?
Yeah,
That's it.
right. Exactly. I want to piggyback on something that Napoleon said, which I think is really valuable in this topic that I hadn't thought about until this conversation. One of the great things for me on Netflix, which is really revolutionary, I just was in a conversation about this week. I love that Netflix exposes the entire world to the entire world.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite shows have not been American-produced shows. They're shows that were produced in Russia or Norway, and they were so precise in having English said over the lip movement that you kind of forget, wait, this is not English produced. And I have watched shows from all over the world that I have loved that I would have never had any exposure to because Netflix is making this commitment of saying, well, we're taking on this product from Norway, or we're taking on this product from Vietnam, and then we're showing it in the United States with English, not subtitles, in English, but as close as possible to the lip movement. I realized when Napoleon said that, the exact same thing is happening in reverse. Our products that are created at Netflix, original series, that are pro-LGBT and showing LGBT in a positive light, and trans, and race, and etc., as it continues to broaden, exactly the exact same thing will happen in Russia. And Russia will see positive imaging of LGBT, exactly like what we're seeing in their imaging from Russia. Yeah. That brings Netflix to a social justice position I never even thought of until tonight.
And Netflix, I'm putting my hosts on the spot here tonight, but I have a great idea because you've been helping our community, our LGBTQ community. I would love for each of us to go around and say something that you've provided for us that's gay or not content, that you've helped us to learn and grow and see new things that we experience. And I'll start. I recently found a show called The Curious Creations of Christine McConnell, and it's like Pee Wee Herman meets Elvira meets Martha Stewart, and it is the best show that I've seen in a long time. If you guys are out there and love any of those three influencers, watch it because it's a fun show and it's only one season long until Netflix does more with it.
I agree with Al. I just watched a Russian show about robots, and it took me a minute to realize it wasn't originally recorded in English.
Yeah.
And it didn't bother me. A lot of times I like to lip read while I'm watching a show, and I really loved it. And it was super well done. It was super good. And then at the end I was like, oh my God, it was done in Russia. I don't exactly have a love for Russia, but I loved the show.
Yeah, and to Napoleon's challenge, 2 words, Stranger Things. Stranger Things. One of the most brilliant horror stories ever done. Period. The end. Period.
I'm pretty sure that you turned me on to this one, Al. Altered Carbon.
Yes.
And that is just a fabulous show. I love these sci-fi, futuristic, dystopian storylines.
It's also hot.
Yes, Henry Cavill's in it.
Black
Henry
Mirror.
Cavill is in it.
Black Mirror.
Oh, Black
Yes.
Mirror's good.
And
Black Mirror's amazing.
there's so many good comedies. Dead to Me.
Dead to
Yes! And that season 2 just came out.
Dead to Me is so good.
I mean, I could keep on going.
Yeah,
I Netflix and chilled through this whole entire quarantine.
No,
Like you have
that-
no idea.
Netflix is not the 2020s logo of what was intended or here television. It's so much better. But let's land the plane on LGBT for a moment. Have you watched Hollywood?
Yes.
Oh,
Not yet.
my God.
Hollywood.
That's next.
I watched the first episode, and there's 8 episodes, and I binged it.
Yeah, me
Period.
too. I watched it in one
It
day.
feels like my story.
Oh my goodness! When you have gas station attendants that are running a brothel out of the gas station, just blocks from the Grauman Chinese Theater to get a job at a movie studio, and they're all gay, or they are straight but they will be gay for whatever reason to get ahead, I'm in.
Yeah.
Hollywood
It doesn't
did
even matter
such
that Patti
an
LuPone is in
amazing
it.
job. They did a great job of taking you from reality and making you, if they turned back time and made it a possible brighter past. I mean, obviously, we all know Rock Hudson died of HIV/AIDS.
Okay, you guys are giving too
Wait,
much away.
no,
No,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is real life.
Okay,
This is
yeah.
real life. In real life, Rock Hudson died of AIDS, and he was very much in the closet. But in the show, and I'm not giving anything away, episode 1, he was a closeted gay man.
Yes. What
And
if?
little bit of
is
giveaway.
how the show explores
Oh.
it. It takes real people and goes, but let's assume what if could
Yes.
happen.
What if
It's so
a black
awesome.
woman won an Academy Award?
And there's just so many more shows like that. Like Sex
Yeah.
Education is one I know, but there's so many shows we could name here. We could have a whole.
We like
episode
to
Oh
about
wait,
this.
and that reminds me,
Sex education.
there's a Chinese Asian storyline. Oh wait, yeah.
here we go.
All right, here we go. All right, let's move out of this. I love where this went in terms of
Yeah.
Netflix. We all collectively come to the conclusion of what we already knew individually. We all love what's gone on at Netflix.
Yeah.
We love
They did a
what's
great
happening
thing.
at Netflix. Bravo to you. Bravo to you. All right, let's move into the best thing of the week. Again, we do this of showing you something that our production team thinks is a real highlight. A lot of times they get it wrong because they're a little nerdy, but we
love nerds.
Well,
I love nerds.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Without nerds, the world would fall.
I love nerds, and at least when we're not in isolation.
Just ask my wife. I'm her #1 nerd.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. All right. So let's do the best thing of the week, and we're going to show it to you. I'm assuming it's a video because I haven't seen it. Production is nodding yes to me. And the best thing of the week is called Everything I Need to Know About Surviving COVID-19 I Learned at Horror Movies. I'm in. Let's watch this.
Okay.
You heard the news?
What's the news?
We're fucked.
Is it a virus? Yeah.
How does it spread? Is it airborne?
We don't know.
What did he just say?
He said there's a storm coming in.
Something in the mess! Cook John Lee!
Everybody just relax.
It's death out there.
It's the end of the world!
All of you, go to the kitchen and wash your hands. Wash your hands.
Wash your hands!
Look at you. You're not even wearing your mask now. Where's your mask?
There's gotta be a way of killing it. How do we do it?
You can't.
And it gets worse.
You're out of toilet paper.
We need to go grocery shopping, Dad.
I'll get us something to eat. I'll meet you back here.
I've been thinking, everyone should prepare their own meals. They quarantined us. I'm going to board up the windows and the doors.
If we break quarantine, we could all die.
Everybody is dead. Social de-evolution appears complete.
Who are you calling?
The president.
What did he say?
But you see, it's a beautiful day, the beaches are open, and people are having a wonderful time.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
We are all crisis alert. The situation is normal again.
I'm very confused.
So, as a species, we're fundamentally insane.
Are you sure we're doing the right thing, Tom?
What about getting out of here? The television said that's the right thing to do.
There's a cure.
How's it cured?
Lee.
Do you have any disinfectant?
Yes, I do.
I want you to inject yourself.
God, where did you hear that?
President.
Okay, let's try, shall we?
Get back!
Still no cure.
I'm afraid.
There's no reason to be afraid.
Are you sure?
Yeah, we've all got the same thing.
We're all in this together.
No matter what happens, we have to stay together.
I can't lie to you about your chances. You have my sympathies.
Well, does that hit a bullseye?
Wow.
Frightening indeed.
What'd y'all think? Best thing of the week? Anybody a horror movie fan?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I loved all the little comments about, disinfectant here or like toilet paper.
Yeah.
Like they got this pandemic right. They knew all the key words that would actually happen. Meat shortage. Home Alone face.
When you first read this, I was immediately thinking like zombie horror movies and like post-apocalyptic. But I think this was very well done, and they did include the first ever zombie movie.
I just recently read an article, and I think it was in New Yorker, and they were talking about what's going to happen in Hollywood and in television. Well, Hollywood for film and television, that we are going to have a whole new crop of genre based on coronavirus.
Right.
That this event has been so significant that writers, producers, directors are sitting in quarantine, and all they're doing is considering what they're seeing online, what is happening to them, what our government is saying, what their friends are saying, their experiences, and they're going to fold it into a whole new genre. And really, the article really said something fantastic that's going to come out of this is the entertainment that's going to come out of it.
That makes complete sense. I mean, this is the first time that we as a people, not just America, but our entire world, are experiencing the same kind of oppression. Something that, at least in America, we haven't gotten since the 70s and 80s. So yes, the kind of art that comes out of this should be revolutionary and definitely of a new form.
Yeah.
During wartime, a lot of fantasy that escape reality movies come out because they need to shift gears and help you think of new and crazy things.
Didn't I read, it's been a while, but didn't I read that much of our institutional iconic comic book characters came out of World War II?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say, is that how it changes the superhero genre, which is obviously the #1 dominating genre in the box office right now, is going to have to change, because we're not looking for people that can win in a fist fight. We're looking for people that can heal and help. This changes the comic industry and thusly the current movie industry in such a dramatic way.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what it is.
Very interesting.
What villain comes from injecting disinfectant?
Well, that's how.
All right, let's move out of our best thing of the week and move to what's on your mind. It's an opportunity for all of our hosts to tell us in 30 seconds or less. Josie, you haven't been here a while live. You're going to do it in 30 seconds or less, I think. And tell us about what is on your mind this week. And Napoleon, let's start with you.
This week I have been very much on the idea of how much I miss water. I miss being, I mean, I can take a shower now, but I miss being in pools and lakes and beaches, and just, it's my safe space to be in water. It makes me feel collected and centered, and I feel like I'm connecting to the earth again. And while some of those things are starting to open back up, some parks, some personal pools, places where I can be socially distanced and still in it, I feel like I'm reconnecting to a part of myself. And I look forward to other ways that I'll reconnect to myself after this isolation slowly ends, because there's so much all of us have given up.
All right. And Misty, what's on your mind?
Most pools have reopened, by the way. There's no furniture, but you can get in the water. And I'm very much a water person as well. What's on my mind right now is Miss Josie over here running for political office. Girl power to you. I definitely think be the change you want to see. And I'm applauding my sister, my friend. Woo! And that's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about ways how to make this possible and make it done.
You know, a piggyback of what's on my mind, and then Josie, I'm going to allow you to finish. Interesting observation. Our government has crashed America.
Yeah.
Period. All stop. Drop mic. There's no question about it. We've spent trillions. It hasn't helped. We don't do enough testing. We're going to reopen anyway. And. Let's not jump on, don't be an 800-pound gorilla. But these are all facts. We all know it. America has crashed because of the management leadership of our government. In conjunction with that, now, of course, Josie is not going to be leading the national charge of testing by being mayor in the gayest place on planet Earth. However, it is a start to remind ourselves that it is very important to bring people into the political process that want to help. If you start from that place, you can make every good decision after that. I have to tell you, after being in this now, we at Q News Tonight have done this for a while in reporting on coronavirus. I have a new appreciation. And oh my goodness, I have so many friends that are going to go, oh my God, I can't believe this is coming out of your mouth. I have a new appreciation for a Bernie Sanders or an Elizabeth Warren.
I love Elizabeth.
My goodness. I didn't feel about them the way I feel now, which is we do need a dose of optimism and saying collectively we are more important than the them.
Yeah.
I miss both of them. And as I think about Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, I piggyback on Misty's comment. I'm thinking about Chef Josie right now in my little town that I have been at for 18 months. Wilton Manors, the gayest place on planet Earth. And that's what's on my mind. And
thanks, guys. Those comments, they really, hit my heart and hit close to home. And but I will tell you this: what's on my mind tonight is Oscar Christian, Ron Bernesky's husband, has started a family relief fund for Ron Bernesky's family, and there's a GoFundMe site, and I'm going to be posting that on my social media so that we can support Ron Bernesky's family during this really hard and challenging time.
yeah, beautiful sentiment. So that's what's on everybody's mind tonight at It's Happening Out. Let's move into one of the topical discussions that we wanted to have this week, and that is the, you all help me because I'm terrible at pronunciation of names. Ahmaud is how his name is pronounced, unfortunately. Ahmaud Arbery. I've heard it many times, but I have difficulty with names. Was killed in Georgia, of course, in February. His killers were not arrested until this weekend. And of course, there has been just a national reaction to it. Power Infiniti has led just amazing observations about what he saw and what he felt about it. And before we discuss it, we've prepared a package on it. Watch this.
Officials are being asked to investigate how authorities in Georgia responded to the killing of an unarmed black man. Ahmaud Arbery was shot while running through a neighborhood in February, but it took more than 2 months to arrest the suspects, a father and a son, Gregory and Travis McMichael. Omar Villafranca is in Dallas at a mural honoring Arbery. Omar, good morning. That mural went up very quickly.
It did, and as word of Arbery's case spreads, tributes like this one are popping up all around the country. And as federal investigators are now starting to get involved to see how this case was handled in Georgia.
I want to begin the conversation by framing the issue. We know the facts of the case. He was unarmed. He was jogging in his own neighborhood. They didn't live in the neighborhood. They pursued him. We know all of these facts. They've been discussed extensively. I think one of the big broad questions for us at It's Happening Out that I would like to discuss is among the various issues that you're getting ready to bring up is, does the LGBT community care about racism? Or do we just pretend we do? And also, I've read lots of things where people have said, in circles that I follow in social media, saying, I'm tired of hearing about this. You're forcing it down my throat, and I don't want to hear any more about it. And they get mad that it's being discussed. Race is being discussed. We've discussed race so many times at It's Happening Out. What do y'all think about in terms of the focus here in the LGBT community? How we're responding to a sister, a brother minority community?
Well, that's exactly what it is, because queer doesn't just mean queer sexuality or sexual orientation. Queer is a part of being a minority, and if any minority is targeted, then it is targeting in part the LGBTQ community, not just because it de facto is, but because you always know if one group starts to be targeted, it's not that long before the next group starts to be targeted. Now, the people that are saying that this is being shoved down their throats, maybe that's valid, because maybe they're living this 24/7, and then they just feel powerless that this is being used as a scapegoat from everything else that the leadership is doing wrong in the world, particularly with Corona. Maybe they just feel so much like they cannot do anything about this that it does feel like it's being shoved down their throat because they just can't do anything more, and hearing more about it just breaks their hearts. I know I've been there.
Before other observations, I want to just follow up on your observation. Because I wonder, do you think, I'm asking opinion, do you think most people in the LGBTQ community would have that understanding that that's what the Q means? Do you all agree with Napoleon's observation?
Yeah, I agree with him, but I don't think they do.
Because that's what I'm asking that question, because I So all of us know that, but I wonder if most of the community does. And an example of that in terms of understanding here of this black man being murdered,
And he's
he was
beautiful.
murdered, is our news show. Napoleon and Misty and I did Q News Tonight, and when it started on January 6th, there was quite a controversy on what we were going to call the first LGBT evening news in the world, Q News Tonight. It is acronym for queer, Queer News Tonight. It doesn't talk about sexuality, it talks about community, queer news. And it's interesting to me that you point that out because I would be willing to bet a very substantial portion of our community doesn't understand that.
I think most Americans, let alone LGBTQ people, only worry about things that matter to them. How does this affect me? And unfortunately, they don't care. Like, I remember I saw a joke or a meme. It's like, well, at least I'm not black. At least okay, fine, I'm black, but at least I'm not gay, or at least I'm not trans, or at least I'm not Jewish. There's always a one-up of our marginalized communities, but we are all marginalized, and we do need to impact each other, and we do need to stand by each other. And I very much am a pro. You've heard me say on the show many times.
It begs the question, how does the LGBT community propel itself if we're myopically selfish only about ourselves?
That's what it is. It's about, I mean, any minority group tends to have some levels of abuse. I know that in the LGBTQ community, there was like 1 in 3 people that have experienced some sort of abuse growing up or even later in life. And that's true to some level of all minority groups. If we are on the smaller side of what's represented, then even if it's just self-abuse, we do it to ourselves, we receive it from others. And when you're hurt like that, it's so difficult and it takes so much effort to overcome that. It takes so much personal strength and awareness to see where you've been hurt and not treat other people in that same way, to be able to care for others in the way that you otherwise might have been able to.
Politician?
Josie, I'm curious, do you think the LGBT community cares about racism? Or do we just pretend?
I think that if the racism affects your personal experience and your LGBTQ, I think you care. I can't say that I believe that everyone in the LGBTQ plus community is as concerned with racism as those whose lives are truly affected by it.
The LGBT people in general are often fighting about taking out the T. The trans people they shouldn't even be included, and let alone other races and people that don't affect them. I honestly think most people pretend.
Again, it comes down to if your answer, because I think I'm hearing we don't care. A lot of people in our community may not care, or they pretend, or
we don't like the fats, we don't like the femmes, we don't like the Asians,
or if
don't
we
like
do
the
try, like, I mean, I know I've been a part of groups online, like we said in Q News Tonight, where I'm trying to help moderate a situation, and I'll be told, okay, well, no, you're just being the white guy, and you're white-splaining things to me, and I'm like, dude, first of all, I have a lot of history of oppression on my side, too, and ethnically, as I do as well. I'm Jewish. I've been enslaved.
You're going to pull the Jewish card?
I am, because it's accurate.
Really?
But even more so, I'm not trying to play above or beyond anyone. I'm trying to help mitigate the situation so everyone can understand things. And if you're part of a minority that is being targeted, and then you have allies that are there trying to help, maybe they're not doing their best, or maybe they're somehow misinformed, but you can't shy them away. You have to be able to be aware enough to accept the help that you're getting and help that cause grow, because otherwise you're just shooting yourself in the foot.
And I want to add something, one more thing. You know, when we talk about this, we have to remember that the source of this sentiment, it comes from a place. And whether you're gay or you're straight, this is something that is starting in our homes. So we have to take it back to the source. We're taught these behaviors. We're taught to not to, you know, have a disdain for other people's race or culture. We're taught those things. We're not born to be those people. And if we can just remember, we can go back to our pure states and understand that we're all human beings, but we're going to need leadership. You know, we keep coming back to leadership as well. We need someone who's going to, and we need not just someone, we need many leaders who are going to lead that by example.
Yeah, you know, I'm really sorry that we've had the technical problem for Power and Power Infiniti being in this conversation. He has done such an incredible job in the last year and a half in terms of explaining racism and the effects of racism and the outcomes of racism, making sure that everyone understands his feelings about Donald Trump and being the racist in chief, as he labels him. He had an amazing post this week where he said that his social platform had been taken over and had been somebody had commandeered his Facebook, and that everything was okay in race in America, and he wants to make America great again and vote Trump 2020. And it was a brilliant observation, simple, brilliant observation of going, it really is black and white for him in terms of the issue of race is so severe in America. And I think it's interesting, so many people don't want to hear that. They don't want to digest it and go, why do you feel that way? And explore it. They just want to simply say no, whoop, and turn it off. And that's part of our problem. It's part of our problem.
Apparently, to get a compliment from Al, you just have to not be able to talk during the show, and then that's when it comes out. So, Power, good job at that. He was just giving you huge praise.
Yes, absolutely. Let's return to Arbery one more moment. Make sure that we land the plane on him. What do we want to see happen next? So the two are arrested. What do we want to see happen? Let's assume first we want justice. We want a fair trial. We want fair charges. We want fair testimony, witnesses, etc. But beyond that, what would you want to see happen here? Any specific thoughts?
I mean, the only real thing you can say is, yes, justice, but then how do you keep this from happening again? And the reality is that, we'll have thoughts and prayers that will do it, and that probably won't change anything. I don't know how to keep our country from repeating its own actions and have history repeat itself because we refuse to make the changes that are needed.
No criticism to you at all, but did you not say in a more sophisticated way, I don't want to hear it, which is how we start this, of many people saying, please don't, I don't want it.
Yeah, I think the next step is after justice is served, I think that next step is a very deep investigation into the police department, the chief, everyone from the top down who was involved in the process as a whole. Why did it take this long to even begin the investigation? Yeah. It took national outrage, and nothing like this should ever happen and require national outrage to get attention.
You know, as a survivor of a very close friend of Pulse, I'm having the exact same, I'm Power, I'm just thinking about you left and right, honestly. I'm having the exact same reaction to that observation. What's going to come of this? It's going to happen again. And it's the exact same thing that I think about gun violence. What can I do? I don't know what I can do. Yeah. I want to do something. I have voiced and voiced and voiced, but that doesn't seem to be enough. And that seems to be the same situation here with Ahmaud Arbery. What can we do? So let's move out of this very topical conversation and move into a segment we call Saved by the Bell. It's a lightning round of LGBT topics in the news this week and other headlines. We're going to do 60 to 90 seconds on each topic, and if we go too long, this is what you're going to hear from me, and we're going to ring the bell, and our host has to stop right in the middle of whatever it is that they're saying. And because Josie is back, I hope I get to do it at least 3, maybe 4 times.
So. Josie should go first so you don't get cut off.
And it'll
Asians
give her...
are quick, guys, okay?
It'll give her good practice for being mayor of Wilton Manors, the gayest place on planet Earth. All right, let's play Saved by the Bell. Question number 1. On Sunday, the Disney Family Sing-Along number 2 brought us tons of LGBTQ plus icons, not even talking about Disney. What did y'all think?
Oh my God, so I haven't seen this new one yet, and we reported it yesterday on Q News Tonight, but I am so excited to watch this. This is like joy in a can. Lip syncing to Disney, joining in with your friends and family, being better than them. I know I challenge you, Misty, by the way, next time we go. It'll be so much fun. Oh my God, who doesn't want a Disney sing-along? It is good for everybody. It's
just look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Wouldn't you think I'm the girl who has everything?
One jump.
I've got dildos and butt plugs aplenty.
I steal only
I've
what
got
I can
gay boys
afford.
and Asians. You want thingamabobs? Sure.
Sure.
I've got 20. But who cares? No big deal. I want more.
Wow, you
That's
can take
great.
it deep, deep.
All right, let's make that enough on topic number 1 is Saved by the Bell. Napoleon, you did pretty good.
Oh my God.
Saved
Told
by
you
the
to
Bell.
sneak it in.
Yeah, right. Saved by the Bell number 2. LGBTQ plus people rounded up in Uganda and humiliated. Now, let me give you a little context before we do this. Africa has among the worst LGBT human rights generally of any of the continents. Uganda is the worst in Africa in terms of how they treat LGBT. And they had a roundup of 26 LGBT people this week, and they used a cane and humiliated, that's the mayor that you're seeing, who walked them through the streets in this capital city in Uganda. What do y'all think?
Well, just to clarify, one of the
Start
things,
the timer for me, Dave.
Uganda does have bad rights for LGBTQ people, but it's better than some of its neighboring cultures and countries, and that's why people are fleeing from there as refugees to Uganda. So these are refugees coming to Uganda. They're going to the city of Kampala, where there is this essentially a tribe of LGBT people, and they're being beaten, they're being raped, they're being attacked for just being who they are, and they're coming together because they all are LGBTQ, and they find some solace in that. But watch the video; it's heartbreaking.
Now that leader that we saw with the cane in his hand, was that Vice President Pence? I couldn't tell.
That was the mayor. I don't.
He doesn't have a mask
dueling
on.
with a,
You know, Mike Pence wouldn't have a
stick,
mask
that's
on.
For sure.
Other thoughts about what's going on in Uganda?
I agree with Josie. She will not be that kind of mayor.
Yeah.
I think this is repulsive, but I'm glad it was documented, and I'm glad that people are discussing it. If we don't learn from our mistakes, we're doomed to repeat them.
And Josie, here there's a lot of our LGBTQ community that would love to be beaten. I can help you find them.
That
I'll
is
raise my
actually
hand.
true.
That is actually true. It's a bad joke, but it's true.
Reality.
Saved by the Bell, question number 3, story title number 3. Moms are being recognized last week and this week, because of Mother's Day, as being heroes in the pandemic.
That's an applause-worthy thing. I mean, I think everyone here has a mother that they love and respect and just appreciated their whole lives. But right now, what mothers are doing is above and beyond. They have to be a provider and a caretaker and a teacher and the safe one and the rock of the house and the person that's staying informed of everything and do so much more, finding groceries when it's shortage and they can't get meat. Like moms right now are doing everything.
Yeah,
Mom,
they're
I
the
love
real
you.
superheroes.
Well, speaking of superheroes, you live with your mom.
Yes, I do.
Tell us about that.
Well, my mom's on vacation now since she's older, so I actually am kind of like the
mean
mom. I'm the mom with the COVID-19 virus, taking care of my mom.
You're the disciplinarian.
Yeah, I'm
of
the
house.
disciplinarian. I'm everything. Luckily, she's beyond the school year, so I don't have to homeschool her, although I've thought about it, but the fact that I have a sister-in-law, and I was able to go and see them the other night, and I have just watched her go through her busy day. She's been working from home. She cooks a hot meal for her family every single night. She's helping everyone with their homework, going through homeschooling with them. My brother is working from home right now, so she has all the kids in the house at the moment, and she still maintains that positive attitude. And people just underestimate the power of women in the world, but they really underestimate the responsibility and the strength of our mothers across the country.
I wish I could turn the clock back. My mother was a nurse, 3 children, and I've thought about this many times. If we were in pandemic like this situation that by the way, we've been in quarantine since March 6th. We've crossed over 2 months and a week now, or approaching a week. My mother, as a nurse, being a critical healthcare worker, and running the house, and we're not in school, and dealing with 3 precocious children, and dealing with an obnoxious husband that was myopically selfish. Oh my God. I wish I could turn, my mom is passed, but I wish in this situation I could turn the clock back and say, I'm so sorry, I loved you unconditionally, but I'm so sorry I never told you in this one sentence how important you are.
Yeah.
I'm so sad about that.
My mom raised 7 kids, and we never had COVID-19 or pandemic, but we definitely had blizzards that we were trapped in the house sometimes 2 weeks at a time, and that was fun. It wasn't 65 days, but
yeah,
my mom was a rock star too.
So we move on to Saved by the Bell. Story number 4. A lesbian blogger says non-binary is a political identity.
Josie?
That's it. Now I am non-binary. Is that the same as nonpartisan? And
Right?
no, I mean, guys, we've had this discussion many times. Y'all know exactly where I stand on all the labels.
Remind
to
me.
me, labels only separate us further. And I remember a time when we were just human. And so although I understand the reasoning why we have labels, we have to be very careful that we're not stuck in those boxes.
Any other thoughts? You want to add something of her attack on the trans community?
This topic is very toxic for a person like me to talk about with under 30 to 90 seconds. I'm not going to touch this one today. But I think this is a good topic for a different show.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Great. Saved by the Bell. Story number 5. Amazon picked Freddy's restaurant in Northern Virginia, gave them $200,000 because they were an LGBTQ plus favorite to prepare meals for first responders and frontline workers. And it completely changed the outlook of Freddy's restaurant in Northern Virginia, right outside of Washington, D.C.
Well, it also changed the landscape of what's going on with Amazon, because yes, he donated $1 billion, and then he made back, like $400 million or some amount. So like Amazon has money to spare. It's not like Jeff Bezos doesn't have this to spare. I think he just wanted to get some, kudos from the LGBTQ community. And the restaurant is also probably very good. Frequently, we have great taste in things like art and food. So I imagine it's delicious. It seems like it was a trick to make sure he could get like the gay stamp of approval.
I have to say, here's my problem with your observation. Nobody can ever do anything good for the LGBT community if we apply that standard.
Yeah.
Never. Because everything is suspect of you're doing it for an ulterior motive.
Yeah.
And those that do it, no disrespect to your observation, but how does a business, how does 40 billionaire Bezos, how does any corporation in America justify, wait, we support your community, and so therefore we're going to put our money where our mouth is? We're a business. If we make money, okay, but how do you ever meet
Well,
the
I heard
continued
somewhere.
support. It's something that can't be a one and done thing. You have to make that effort
Listen,
constantly to show what
I
your
heard
true colors
something.
are.
I heard something somewhere where they said you never turn down free money. And, the banks, they want to give you money to set up a bank account. So you go there and you get that extra $500 in your account, okay?
wallet.
And again, someone wants to offer you $250,000 to keep your restaurant alive in the middle of a unprecedented crisis. Take the money, guys. Take the money.
Yeah.
I think the official term that Napoleon was looking for is called pink washing. And even if he had an ulterior motive, I'm glad he did it, and I'm glad he kept them alive, and I'm glad they kept them in business.
Yeah, exactly.
And now I want to try it.
Yeah, okay. All right, let's move out of Saved by the Bell. I didn't get to interrupt anybody. I'm really unhappy about that. All right, so let's move on to another game that we play called Shag, Marry, Chop. And you know how we play it. We're going to show you in a couple of moments 3 people that are involved in this week's Shag, Marry, Chop. And everyone's going to tell us who they would shag. You know what that means, who you would marry, and who you would chop. This week on It's Happening Out, we're going to give one for the girls.
Oh.
Appropriate with the
Hey.
girls.
Welcome back, JoJo.
And Misty. So tonight we're going to play Hot Chicks from Sci-Fi Flicks.
Ooh.
The alliteration.
I'm not a lesbian, but I can definitely.
First is
Okay.
Mila Jovanovic.
Jovovich.
Jokovic. I loved her in The Vampires. Or the zombies, the zombie movies. Kate Beckinsale. I was thinking of Kate.
Yeah.
I loved her in the vampire movies. And then Zoe Saldana. All three
gosh.
beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful
They are.
women.
Very good.
We'll save our women for last, and we'll start with our very binary Napoleon Plays.
I do think of myself as pretty binary, but my interests range from anything from human to tree.
Literally.
All right, so
Literally.
True.
I'm going to shag Zoe Saldana because, first of all, ever since Center Stage, I've thought that she just moves in a very sexy way. And then when you get into things like Star Trek, or when she's Gamora, and I mean, everything about her, she just screams sex appeal. I would absolutely shag Zoe Saldana. Marry Mila Jokovic. I fell in love with her in The Fifth Element. It doesn't matter. I don't think she was even specifically a gender in that either. She's just heart. She's life. She's energy. She's just sex on a stick. I would marry her because I want that in my life, and I want to be around someone that just embodies that type of level of love. Also, she was a model. Like, how cool is that she can go from that to being a really known actress? Kudos to her. Unfortunately, that means I have to chop Kate Beckinsale, but I don't have many relationships with you. In my head, I haven't even seen that many movies, so, put that bitch on the back burner. We'll find her another time.
You didn't see the vampire series that she was in? Oh, my God.
They're all the same.
Yeah, Underworld, thank you.
We were talking about Robert Pattinson earlier, so that's where I did
All right.
homework. Everyone on set loves her more.
And and Misty, tell
I
us, who are you
really am not a lesbian. For the record, I have my gold card, not lesbian card. But I find all three of these women stunning.
I know.
And I don't want to chop any of them.
Right.
Who are you shagging?
I'll have to shag Kate Beckinsale just because the videos I'm looking of her right now.
She wears leather and
black,
latex,
yeah.
almost unlike anyone.
Oh, wait, what?
She's a boss bitch. Like,
Oh.
just look at her. I'm going to shag her. But I've had a secret girl crush on Mila Jovovich, or Djokovic, or however you say it, for a very long time. The house down. So unfortunately, and I loved
Zoe.
I loved Zoe, especially in Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh,
Yeah.
God. And her, the Dave Bautista.
But you're chopping her, though.
But I'm going to have to chop her because I don't have a choice.
Okay.
That's the game.
Now, our lesbian contribution to our Shag
Wow,
Three
this
Chop
is
game.
probably one of the most difficult choices I've made in a million years.
Wait, if you're going to be mayor, you've got to be decisive.
Yeah.
Think quick.
Not when it comes to hot ladies, okay? I have history with Mila, and it would be weird if I wanted to shag or marry her. So I'm gonna put her on the back burner right now. But
Child, I'm the moderator. If you think we're going to move beyond you explaining that,
I want his
we'll
Story.
just sit here and wait.
Draw
All right,
pictures.
close hands.
Story time.
Now we go silent.
Yeah, so Mila and I met when I first moved to New York City, and I was a waitress in the West Village, and I was the waitress at this little West Village restaurant. She came in for lunch, and I waited on her, and I was such a huge fan of Mila Jovovich, and I asked her, what do you want to drink? She wanted a cosmopolitan, but I was really a bartender, not a waitress, and I begged my manager to allow me to make the Cosmo. So I made her the Cosmo. She said, this is delicious. I told her, I know, I make the best Cosmos ever.
Put it in your mouth, Mila.
Yeah, a couple years later, after I was on Top Chef, I used to go to all the fabulous parties in New York City, and I was invited to the Prada flagship store opening, where it was super A-list VIP. When I came in, I saw Mila, of course, and I was like, I just have to go over there and say hi to her. I have to say hi. I want to know if she remembers that Cosmo. I want to know if I left an impression on her. And of course, I went over to her and I go, I know this is so crazy. She goes, I know exactly who you are. You made me a Cosmo in the West Village. It was the best Cosmo I ever had.
That's a great
moment. And
I was love at first sight.
Yeah, and she said that she'd seen me on Top Chef, and it was just really great. So, we're in the friend zone, so I don't know if I can play with her, okay? But I will tell you this, I'm shagging Zoe, okay? I'm shagging Zoe, and I know my wife would be very okay with that.
Your wife would join you.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, and she joined me too in marrying Kate, so.
I think my husband would watch you shag Zoe.
And so I would marry Kate because I have this thing for vampires, and then I would chop Mila, but not chop because you and I are friends now. So there's that.
All right, great. I love that story. That's the first sip joke was really good. All right, that's our Shag, Marry, Chop. Tune in every week. We do this. If you missed the one where we did trees, that was particularly interesting. We normally do very hot guys, but this week we did the hot chicks from sci-fi flicks, and it was fun.
Chicks with dicks.
All right, we're almost.
That's another movie.
That's another movie. It's on Pornhub.
Back to trees.
Right. And we're at the end of the show, so that means, and we've been talking about this for a while. We're all hungry. It's been an incredible day. And we're getting ready to have pizza. And Jet's Pizza here in South Florida. And let's bring it in. And it's being delivered here. Is this one of the cauliflower cuts? This is my favorite. I love it. It's a thin crust cauliflower. Thank you. And they have Detroit-style thick crust pizza. Awesome. If you're here in South Florida, you got to have Jet's Pizza, and they have locations around the country. So you want to make sure Jet's Pizza. All right. So we're going to say goodnight, and before we say goodnight, we give all of the hosts an opportunity to say goodnight. And let me start with my friend Napoleon Plays.
Yes, everybody, thank you so much for being here tonight. We know it's a difficult time, and welcome back, Chef Josie, especially with your big news that you're announcing and have announced now. I'm excited. I hope that you will continue to inspire me, just like you said, the rest of the people that have been in this position on set right now, because I firmly believe that you can play every day, every way, even during coronavirus times, just like it's the before times. So thank you so much for tuning in every Wednesday at 8 o'clock, and I can't wait to eat that pizza because I am a hungry pup.
Absolutely. And to my friend doing a great job at Q News tonight, our new anchor woman, Misty Eyez.
Woo. So we may be living in the new dark ages, but that does not mean you have to stop respecting yourself, protecting yourself. Just because your state, your governor, your commissioner, whoever says, go outside and act like normal, doesn't mean you have to. Yes, I do think some things are going to be okay. I personally am going to the pool on Sunday, and I'm going to get in the water and submerge myself. But just because somebody tells you you can't or can do something, you are ultimately in charge of your own destiny. You make your own decisions. Take advice from everybody, but also make your own decisions. Take care of yourself.
Fantastic advice. And to my mayoral candidate of the gayest place on planet Earth, my friend, Chef Josie.
I say goodnight to all the viewers this evening and to all my friends here in South Florida and all my new friends in Wilton Manors. Guys, we're in a challenging time. We know that. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. And if you wonder why I share that so that we can grow together, so we can learn together, and so we can adapt together. And that's exactly what we're going to do through this crisis. Y'all have a good night. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay positive.
You know, my good night is propelled by loss. 2 losses. First, I congratulate Chef Josie for making the decision to run for mayor of Wilton Manors. This city is the only city in America that has a complete LGBT city council. It was the first to do that. And this moment for Chef Josie in running for mayor is because, and I take a moment to recognize it, is because of a close associate to It's Happening Out, was Wilton Manors Mayor Justin Flippin, who died suddenly this year in a significant medical condition. And it would be impossible to not say tonight that we remember Justin Flippin and what he did. He was on our Christmas show and our New Year's show, and he did so many of our programs. He did a fun commercial about which city was the gayest place on planet Earth in propelling it. And actually, Josie, interestingly enough, stepped in for him at the last minute with Fort Lauderdale's mayor and the Convention and Visitor Bureau's director, etc. So we think about Justin Flippin tonight. In the transition of his loss brings this moment tonight of Chef Josie's announcement. And I think about Justin, and I think about Chef Josie, and I wish you all the luck in the world in running for mayor. Second, I think about It's Happening Out and the Happening Out television network. Where are you seeing live programming like this for the LGBT community? Where? And the reason is because the guys that are sitting behind these cameras are every single day making a commitment to do it. And the people that are sitting in front of these cameras are making a commitment to do this every single day. We have been dramatically affected by COVID-19. We lost Ron Brzezinski, our host on this show. So interesting, just like Justin in propelling Josie, out of sadness comes great things. Out of the loss of Ron Brzezinski, out of sadness comes great things. Ron would have been the most excited person to say the website alone has moved to number 10,000 in the world. 100 times more powerful and viewed in web traffic than number 2 LGBT in Florida. And so as a result, we tell you, we're committed. The only LGBT brands that are breathing the same air as number 10,000 is Out.com and the HRC and GLAAD and the Advocate. Pretty good company from a little upstart video television product. So Ron proves that out of sad things, very positive and great things can happen. So both of those people tonight propel us in a different way. We will remember both of them. I will say their names again. Justin Flippin and Ron Brzezinski. America, remember, if it's important to you, it's happening out. We'll see you next Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. Good night.